Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a brand new season here in SDN. It is season 5 for Tier 1 for the round 1 at Australia Grand Prix at the Melbourne. What a fantastic track to be at. Usually a season opener until Bahrain started back in 2014. Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Morris and I will be your lead commentator throughout the whole season hopefully. And alongside me is Milan Alagha. How you doing, mate? Hoe gaat het?
Dankjewel. I'm doing great.
I'm glad you do well.
Very happy to be here. And I'm excited for this journey together and let's make the most of it.
Indeed. And Robbie says Warren Engels. So I don't think he's happy about an English person doing commentary, but at least somebody is doing commentary. So at least you've got that. But anyways, I'll be your lead commentator. I know I'm not English, but I mean, yes, I am English, but I know I'm not Dutch. But yeah, I'll be your lead commentator and I'll take you through the whole season. And what a fantastic race as well back at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix when we saw a fantastic championship battle with Fireblaze. And it was Finn as well. Finn versus Fireblaze, Williams versus Ferrari. And in the end, it was Finn who took the championship. And he took his first championship of the season. So fantastic job from Finn. And we move on to a brand new season here. It is qualifying. It is a full qualifying session. So Q1, Q2 and Q3 will be also here as well. So 18 minutes in Q1, 15 minutes in Q2. And Q3 will have 12 minutes to see who can take pole. So the first session, Milan, is all about to see who can get inside the top 15.
Yeah, that is the most important thing. You don't really have to push that hard, especially when you're already a race-winning contender, I should say. But for the drivers who are usually near the back of the grid, this is going to be the session you want to shine. And as we're about to see, F1 Short is going to be the first one to start flying a lap.
Here we are as we make our way down towards turn 1, hitting the apex very nicely in 5th gear. The back end of the car just complaining as he wobbles away as we enter the second DRS zone, going down towards turn 2, slamming on the brakes on the 100-meter board, down to 4th, right the curb a little bit, get back in the throttle before we flick our way towards turn 5 here. Patat Job has left the session, retired in the garage there, so no more from him, and that's his qualifying done and dusted. He could have done that glitch where he left the session and they made him retire his car. Into turn 7 and turn 8, flat out corners nowadays in these Formula 1 cars. This track has been modified to boost the opportunity for overtaking as we enter the third DRS zone, with DRS enabled again for F1 Shorts as we enter turn 9 and turn 10. These high speed corners, he needs to be fully committed through here, which he is as well, taking a lot of curb in turn 9 there as we open the DRS once again, heading down towards the heavy braking zone of turn 11, slamming the brakes there, down into third gear, back up into 4th immediately to brake traction and reduce wheel spin before we flick our way into turn 13 here, before we make our way towards the final couple of corners to see what the first lap time is. A bit deep there through turn 13, but gets on the throttle nevertheless, opens the DRS for the last DRS zone, and we're about to see what the lap time is going to be for F1 Shorts. It's a 60.0, and I've got to tell you as well that it is a relatively good lap time considering it's Q1. The track hasn't fully evolved, and plus it's his first lap time too, so plenty more lap times to be found there from F1 Shorts as his qualifying progresses on, Milan.
Very good banker lap, I must say. And behind him, Ivan in the McLaren was going quicker as well, but he went off through the chicane of turns 9 and 10 onto the gravel, invalidated, and he is gone straight back into the pit lane. As we also see Lucas going on intermediates, not a very rare sight from the top drivers, just to check the setup, check if everyone's working. Probably gonna return back into the pit lane at the end of this lap.
Here comes Ryan Bernanke in the Haas, goes into P2 with a 16.1, and that's only a 10 slower than F1 Short, so a very competitive lap time on the medium compound tyres, and his teammate is also exiting the garage as well. So YS Brand in the second Haas there is going to go for a lap time very shortly, as other people, like you said, are on the intermediates. And this is what I do as well. I have a league race where it's full qualifying, and I go on the intermediate tyres just to waste some time and let the timer tick down as Clilo goes into P4 with Octavia in P3 with a 16.9 on the soft compound tyres, as there's McLaren right in front of him who just exited the pit lane, as we've got more people out there. Have you seen?
Mats with a big moment in the final corner, almost hitting the wall on the exit on the mediums, and unfortunately invalidated as well. But he is going to try again though, through turns 1 and 2.
Yep, he's going to go for a lap time on the mini compound tyres, of course, and this is what we see usually in the qualifier sessions of Q1. People going in the inters and the mediums, and also people trying to save a set of soft compound tyres as well because he spun and it's hit the wall. And I think he did a Sebastian Vettel there back in 2022, and Kazuki Nakajima back in 2008 when they both hit the wall there. It's really rare. It's really rare these days when you see people hit the wall in that corner, Milan. But he's gonna done it, and unfortunately broke his wings. So at that time, he's already ruined there.
Already pushing way too hard in your Q1, went off on his first lap, on his second lap straight into the wall as well. It's not an ideal start to his qualifying session, and he's going to have to go back into the pit and replace that front wing. And certainly, well, he does have 12 minutes left in the session, but that's not the way you want to start your qualifying.
Indeed, he could have ended badly there if his whole wheel came off and been knocked out of Q1. We know Patat's job has already been knocked out of Q1 because I presume he lagged out the session and retired his car. That is a glitch on this F1 game where if you leave the session, it could potentially retire a car in the pit lane, which it has done. And I really hope for his sake that the setup is applied to his car, because if not, running a balanced or default setup is really going to struggle throughout the race, because you really need that setup to turn through the corners, get on the power, feel the grip, as Mummy Nick goes into P3. Mummy Nick with a 16.8, so that's quite a long way away from Ryan and F1 short. So not the lap times we expected so far, but these are still bankers, by the way, not showing their true potential pace just yet in this Q1 session. As Jacobs crossed the line, it's a 15.8 for the Red Bull driver Milan, and it's the first one to break inside of 15s.
Very good lap indeed on the softs as well. Already 2/10 clear of the rest of the field, but still with 11 minutes to go, only 8 drivers so far have set a lap time. So certainly a lot of big names yet to set a lap time. Let's see, Eastbrand has invalidated as well in the Haas.
And Tice into turn 11 and spun the car on turn 13, and that's where Logan Sargent and Max Verstappen had their moments in 2023, and he spun the car, got on the throttle a bit too early there for the car's liking, couldn't break the traction and ended up wheel spinning, and that's the trip back in the pit lane. So the only people struggling here are the Australian Grand Prix. I'm not surprised as well, because it is a tough, demanding track, especially in the first sector where your tyres are quite hot at that stage, and also you enter into those big corners where you need to get the throttle as quickly as you can to break traction and get a good exit. But unfortunately for those guys struggling there on the soft compound tyres, AMS Tim and his teammates are out there so far. Ivan is going for a lap time. Quite a lot of people in this AMS esports team. I know a few people in AMS in different leagues as well, so got a competitive esports team as AMS Tim's now negotiates turn 5. Lovely exit there as we swoop through to turn 6 with 6th gear, full throttle as we head down towards turn 7 there. Dab on the brakes, back on the throttle immediately as soon as you exit the corner then, with the hot lap and overtake available to you. Very important as well to how to manage your overtake button, because if you use it too early in the first stint or the first part of the lap, you won't have the overtake left to try and boost your way towards the finish line. The 44.2 there for AMS Tim coming around turn 9 and turn 10 with the DRS wide open again for the McLaren driver before we head down towards turn 11. And if you do hear me losing my voice, I really do apologise, because I have been drinking tonight, so I thought I'd let you know. Beforehand, as we head through turn 12, before we head towards the final 2 corners, Eric goes quickest with a 15.8, and he's 300s quicker than Jakob in P2. Here comes Tim now towards the final corner with the DRS wide open. Where can Tim place McLaren? It's a 16.3 as the Dutchman goes into P5 ahead of Mummy Nick. But Milan, I'll give it to you, mate, because I'm desperate to go to the toilet, so over to you.
Do your best on the toilet, mate. I'll take it over from you. Anyway, Ivan once again into the pit lane, invalidated for the second time in this session. As Robbie Jacobs retired from the session. He thinks his lap time is going to be enough, and to be fair to him, a 15.8, that's definitely going to get him through into Q2, as we see Ricaju in the Aston Martin slowing down as well. A lot of invalidations so far in this session, as Kik has now also started a lap time. Same for Fireblaze, who is on the mediums though. Let's see what he can do. Down into the braking zone of turns 3 and 4, sliding around the back end, stepping out of the Ferrari. On the exit and down into turn 5, flat out. Then turns 6 and 7, is going to be careful with the grass on the outside. Make sure to not hit that, and also be careful with the track limits there through turn 7. And now it's a flat out through the fast left-right chicane of turns 9 and 10. Make sure to not use all of your ERS here, as you will need some at the end of the lap as well. Now into the chicane, Not quite flat out, I think it is, but playing it quite safe. As Sino goes to the top with a 1:15.5, 3/10 clear of anyone at the moment. That's a brilliant lap time so far from the Alpine driver, with a massive advantage over the rest of the field. As Fireblaze once again with a moment. As Vindriets goes even faster into the 1:15.4s. Times really starting to drop now, as Kick also into the top 3 now as well with a 15.5. Now the big times are coming out, as we see Fireblaze with a 1:16.6 on the mediums. Not quite a lap you would have hoped for. A lot of moments with the balance of the setup. AMS Matisse is on the lap as well in the other Alpine. Teammate at the moment on the front row. Can he get anywhere near from the run to the line? 1:15.8 puts him into P5, just behind the 2 Williams drivers of Kick and Lucas. And just ahead of Eric, as we've got 4 AMS drivers, P3, 4, 5 and 6 right now. Amos Isbrand with an invalidation as well again. Not the first time in this session. Really struggling so far. Same for this man here in the McLaren. Ivan is going to try again, as Silo now also retires from the session with 6.5 minutes to go. His lap time is definitely going to be good enough for Q2. 15.5, great lap time. Bit of a lockup into turn 3 for Ivan, but he's kept it within the track limits so far. Is he going to be able to manage that throughout the rest of this lap? As he enters the second sector. And onto the third DRS zone of this lap. 4 DRS zones in total. Really promote overtaking around here. The minimap displays a purple second sector, but it's always you never know if it's actually the case. So we're gonna find out in a few corners time. Into the final sector goes the McLaren driver. Only a handful corners remaining, turns 12, 13 and 14. And this hairpin in particular can be very tricky on throttle. As well as the final corner. Run to the line from the McLaren driver is finally going to be able to set a lap time in the McLaren with 5 minutes remaining and 1:16.2. Into the top 10 he goes.
So there is 4 people in danger in the drop zone. Kak and Haas, Patat Job, both RBs are currently in danger so far. Tyson in the Alpha or Kick Saber, sorry, is currently in danger as well. YS Brand, AMS YS Brand hasn't set last time either. Neither has Reiki in last place. But no Patat Job will definitely get knocked out of Q1 because he retired for the session. A few more people retiring knowing that they're safe so far. Their main aim in Q1 is to get through to the top 15. And 4 of them so far, 5 of them are currently in the drop zone. Kak and Haas or YS Brand is currently on the laptop, I think. He's headed down. No, he's not actually. He's on that field too. So YS Brand is on the back foot. He hasn't got a reference lap so far. Plus, he's running out of fuel too. So trips to the pits will be necessary for him. And maybe use another set of soft compound tyres, which is not ideal, to save him in the race and qualify later if he does make his Q2 and Q3. So YS Brand on the back foot. So is Tice in P18 and also Reiki in P20 as well. So those 2, or those 3, sorry, need to get a move on. Mummy Nick is currently 1,000 down. Mummy, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. But anyways, Mummin Nick is currently on a lap time with a 16.8 so far. Only 1,000 down in the middle sector on the back foot as well. Very close to danger territory. Fireblaze and Tim are currently out there so far. Mummin Nick has backed out of his lap time, so he will not go for a lap time, unfortunately. I think he might be going back in the pit lane for the Sauber driver, as he is entering the pit lane right now. And there is 3 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. A lot of people are currently in danger so far. AMS Tim and Fireblaze are currently out there so far. Not the pace we expect from Fireblaze or Tim, but bearing in mind their best lap time is on the medium compound tyres. Tim, I expect a bit more from in the McLaren in P11, but he's currently on a 16.3, so those 2 currently on the circuit so far. The top 7 in the session have retired from this session, so they know they're safe. But others out there a bit wary, a bit nervous, making sure they want to get through safely with no surprises, because we know sometimes that F1, it can really surprise you, and you can get caught out as well, thinking that you're safe but you're not. So we're watching AMS Tim and Fireblaze. They're both close together, but I'm going to watch Tim first, as he's the closest one towards the line. So here we are then, as we make our way way towards the penultimate corner, opening them up around here in Australia as the DRS will be enabled then for the McLaren driver. There is 2 minutes left to go in this session, and these two are looking to try and boost themselves up further safely to ensure their safety security into Q2. Look at that, very nice usage of the curb in turn 2. DRS enabled again for the McLaren driver as we head down towards the heavy braking zone in turn 3, braking just out of the 100-meter board, down to third gear, get back on the throttle, bring it over to the right side to open up the left-hander of turn 4, use the curb on the exit as we flick our way through turn 5 now, as we see the McLaren driver through the first sector we go, threads the needle. Look at that, already a 10th up in the first sector, so decent first sector for Tim so far. Can he keep it nice and clean? This second sector is only one corner, by the way, one fast corner, the rest of it is a straight, hence why Alex Albon was quickest in the middle sector every time he's on the final lap. Here we are then, it's going to be 2 and a bit tenths up in the middle sector there for AMS Tim, as the DRS is once again enabled for the McLaren driver, trying to put himself further along the pecking order as we stamp on the brakes in turn 12. Here we go, as he uses all the curb on the exit before we make our way towards turn 13. Look at that, barely lifting off the throttle there. That's how much grip this game has as we make our way now towards the final corner. Happy New Year's, Indigo. This is Jake M from college. Jake Malum, wow, I didn't expect to see you here. Thank you so much, mate. It's one of my mates from college. As Tim goes up into P8 with a 15.9 and he's currently inside the top 10. Fireblaze is up into P9 with a 15.9. Very good lap times indeed. Their main aim and goal is to get themselves into Q2, which they have done so far. But other people out there on an out lap competing.
Octavia in the Red Bull is also an improvement, 1.5 tons up at the moment in the Red Bull. He's currently in P14, so a bit of a danger zone as he is, but he's now 3 tenths up through the middle sector. Slightest of moments through the turns 9 and 10. Now the DRS, he's already used everything of his ERS, so he's going to have to struggle a bit on the final straight. So you see him bouncing around the corners, sliding around, now into the hairpin of turn 13. And then it's 1 corner to go to the line for the Red Bull driver. Can he find any more time in the final sector? DRS open, deploys the DRS, run to the line, and he's going to go up only 1 position, P13. And I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for him in the Red Bull. Is it going to be enough?
Maybe we're about to find out, because other people on a lap time, everybody out there so far except the top 7. Ryan is in P11. His best lap time is on the mini compound tyres, and he can't go out. It's way too late for him, as Tice unfortunately has invalidated his lap time. So the Sauber driver is in big danger, and unfortunately for him, he has been knocked out of Q1. YS Brand is on a lap time as well, same with the Aston Martin. Here comes Reiki now coming towards turn 13 before we make our way towards the final corner. He has not set a lap time just yet, but with the DRS enabled, is there a way through to Q2? We're about to find out any moment in time as he cuts the beam. Yes, he makes it into Q2 with a 16.4, pushes Octavia inside the danger zone in 15th place. I don't believe there's a lot of time either. So what about others? Tice is back in the pit lane. Here comes YS Brand now, coming towards the penultimate corner now. What has the Haas driver got? I know he's got some pace, but here in Australia, it looks like he's struggling so far as he rounds the final corner. DRS enabled, a bit of a tow from the Mercedes in front of us. Can he get himself inside of Q2? Yes, he can!
Definitely.
P4 with a 50.6 Milan, and he's definitely safe so far. But what about the other people?
It's now up to Mummy Nick. P17 is the final one to improve on his lap time. Octavia into the pit lane. Mummy Nick, the final one. Can he get himself out of the danger zone? Currently P17 across the line. He does, P14, and he gets himself through into Q2. And that sees the end of Q1 with Rekai Jute, Octavia, TVH, NL, Pata Job and Taisi are the ones to be knocked out in Q1.
So there it is then, 5 people have been knocked out. Reiki, Octavia, NL, Patat Job and Tice. Tice we've seen plenty of times circulating, but he just could not find the grip unfortunately, and that's him out of qualifying. He didn't even set a lap time either, so it really shows the difficulty of this track, trying to hook up a lap time and just could not do it. So he'll find himself knocked out of Q1, and he'll become a spectator as well. I know a few people don't like the long qualifying session, as we see the results then from Q1. It is Hertz who's on pole, or P1 ahead of Kylo in P2. Kick in 3rd place ahead of YS Brand. Lucas 5th ahead of Matthias. Eric in 7th place ahead of Robbie Jacob in P8. I presume that's not how you pronounce the name. How do you pronounce the name, Milan?
Of who?
The man in P8.
Robbie Jacobs.
Robbie Jacobs, yeah, there we go. Thank God I got a Dutchman next to me.
a lot of Dutchmen in this lobby, of course, Dutch League, so no surprise there. I'll try my best to help you pronouncing these names correctly.
Dankjewel.
We now advance into Q2.
So the main aim of Q2 is to try and get yourself inside the top 10, ready for the pole shootout. So we'll see then. In previous years, I found it interesting Q2 because in the old games where we had that old rule implemented where if you get inside the top 10, whatever you set your fastest time on tyres, whatever you... let me explain that again. it's a hard one to explain. I keep muddling this up, by the way. So whatever you set your best lap time on, whatever tyres you set your best lap time on, that's the tyres you start on if you get into Q2 on those tyres. But it's not the case anymore. It's changed since 2022, and you can start what tyres you want to, even though you get inside the top 10. I do miss that a little bit, Lan. Do you?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty nice feature in it. I thought, yeah, I preferred that, to be honest, because it would spice up the race, especially with people behind on different tires. But unfortunately they removed it, so it's going to be just everyone on softs then in qualifying, and no tactics with the mediums into Q2, as it doesn't matter anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, it took a lot of skill as well, because those people who can get the pace, have the pace immediately, try to get themselves to Q2. I do miss the old times back in 2020 and 2021 where people on the mini compound tyres would try to get themselves inside the top 10 to put themselves in a better advantage for the race, not start on soft compound tyres where they wear off quickly. Go on the mediums, but that's not the case anymore. You can do what you want to. So here we are then in this Q2 session, and we're about to find out who can get themselves inside the top 10. Jake says, I don't know anything about F1, but you boys, commentators, sound knowledgeable and entertaining. I'm heading off now. Good luck and keep up the streams. Thank you, Jay Malum. I appreciate that so much, and we'll go for a drink sometime. And I haven't seen you since college days, which was about 2 years ago, Jake. So thank you for tuning in the stream, mate, and good luck for uni. I know you're in uni right now. So yeah, just wish you the best of luck, mate, and hope to see you soon. Back to F1 now. So, majority of drivers on the track, usually in their first laps in Q2, you put on your scrub set of soft compound tyres to get a banker in, and that's when you use a brand new set towards later on. So it's all about now. There's people queuing up in the last sector. Look at that. You can see a few cars. Oh, yeah. You can see cars stacked up in the final sector. You can be very careful, Milan, as well, not to pick up a 5-place grid penalty.
And not only for collision, but for blocking as well is certainly a thing on this game. If you drive just a little bit too slowly ahead of someone else, you can easily pick up a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. But it seems they have managed it all right, and nobody has picked up any penalties, so we can start our banker laps into Q2.
So Finn, the man that finished P3 in the championship, is going for a flying lap. Him and Fireblaze were trying to fight for the championship against Kick, as Kick was the one that won the championship last season by 1 point ahead of Fireblaze. It was so close to the championship, the pendulum swung towards Fireblaze's way, but Kick did a very good job to make it back. And Azerbaijan was very intense as well, because that race where I thought Fireblaze had the advantage, because Kick really did struggle, especially on the first lap when he had massive wheel spin off the line. It looked like Fireblaze was about to win and get the championship points he needed over his rival, but that late safety car came out and that really turned things on his head, and that late safety car played the counter kick as he was able to get back ahead. Matthias goes quickest with a 17.2. One of my mates is called Matthias. He's Norwegian and we pronounce it that way, but I know in Dutch it's Matthias. Here comes Finn now. Finn comes towards turn 13 as he makes his way now towards the fast right hander. Only a dab on the brakes there as Cyclo goes into P2 with a 16.7 as Kaiken Haas goes into first place with a 15.8. Finn Hertz round the final corner with the DRS wide open as Ryan goes quickest, but here comes Finn. He goes up into P2, just 2 tenths shy of Ryan in P1 there. Eric goes into P2 with a 15.7, and these lap times look very competitive indeed. Remember, some of these guys were tired early doors of qualifying, knowing they're safe. They got through on one set of soft compound tyres, Milan.
Yeah, exactly, and these times aren't very slow at all. It's 15.6, only like 2 tenths off of the Q1 lap time, so impressive banker lap from Ryan, especially to get it done immediately. It's not very easy to do that, and he probably is on a new set of tire. I'm not sure if he is, but could very well be. But 15.6, I think that might already be enough to get into the Q3. As we now look at Kick as well, he is going to start his lap time down in P13 at the moment. Hasn't started a lap time yet with 10 minutes on the clock. And same for F1 Shorts in the Mercedes, both of them just starting their laps now.
Here we are then. So, as we see, the two Mercedes and F1 Shorts, who's on the medium compound tyres. Very surprised if he's on the soft now. It's just changed from the graphic there from soft to medium. But here he is then, right at turn 6. We saw Robin Kubica and Sebastian Vettel crash there back in 2009 as they made contact in turn 4. Then they made even more contact as both of them retired from that race. Here we are then with the DRS open for F1 Shorts. DRS wide open. We saw Sergio Perez last year make a lot of good moves as well, especially down the inside, a few people into turn 9. As here we are then, flicking our way through these high-speed corners in 7th gear. It's incredible to see the speed of the F1 cars nowadays. I remember Timo Glock back in 2008 when he bounced over the curbs, or gravel, sorry, and crashed his car. That was a really big impact as well. But we don't really see many people go off there nowadays. Last person I remember going off there was Carlos Sainz back in 2022 when it was a very slow start for Carlos Sainz. It must be honest, if I'm honest, because Carlos Sainz had a very difficult start to the season. Yes, he finished P2 in Bahrain, but at the same time couldn't match the pace of his teammate. F1 Shorts goes P5. Then I remember Carlos Sainz spinning there on the first opening laps of the Grand Prix and retired as well. I remember back in Imola when him and Daniel Ricciardo made contact and it ended his run. But 2 years later, when appendicitis being removed, his appendix being removed, that's when Carlos Sainz came back and claimed a victory. A fantastic victory ahead of his teammate and the two McLarens that day to get his third win in F1. And what a fantastic driver Carlos Sainz is as well. Goes to Williams, and that's when he'd make his debut here for Williams in Melbourne in 2 months' time. And I cannot wait for the brand new season in Formula 1 itself. That's going to be an absolutely incredible season. That will be. And we'll see Lewis Hamilton in red. We see 5 new rookies. Jack Doohan at his home Grand Prix. We'll see Kimi Antonelli. We'll see Liam Lawson. We will see
Oliver Behrman as well.
Oliver Behrman and Gabriel Bortoletto. 6 rookies actually, because Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah, was going to say Isaac Hadjar as well.
I cannot wait for that, man. Like, could you?
It's going to be absolutely crazy. 6 young rookies on the grid. Surely that's going to cause some chaos out there with all these hotshots trying to make their mark in the pinnacle of motorsport. I'm very excited to Australia, but it's going to be a long wait.
It is indeed a very good season anticipated after what we saw in 2024 when Verstappen and his team, the car development going down, the Red Bull not being as strong as they used to be, and Verstappen has got a lot of work to do. No one cares about Carlos Sainz, says Duncan. Oh, these guys, man. Here comes Lucas now coming towards the line. He goes up into P7 with a 16.1 as he puts that Williams inside 7th place ahead of Fireblaze. We've still got more people to come across the line. YS Brand in the Haas as he gets a massive swapper on going out of turn 13 in the final corner with the DRS wide open for YS Brand. Here he is as the Haas man makes his way towards the line. It's P2 with a 50.6. That's 3,000 away. And it's a Haas 1-2 as well here in Australia. And remember what happened in 2018 with Haas when both of them were at the top 5, when Ricciardo had a problem in qualifying and Verstappen spun in the race. Haas were 4th and 5th until the wheel nut came off, unfortunately, in the pit stops, but it all ruined and Haas lost a big chunk of points. But so far, they're currently 1-2. Can it stay that way? We've still got 6 minutes left in this qualifying session, Milan.
Absolutely impressive lap time from Isram, by the way, because in that final sector he certainly had a big moment, so a lot of time to find, and he only had 1 lap in Q1, and now with just 1 lap he has put himself on the front row. His teammate has retired from the session as Matisse goes to the top with a 1:15.5, almost 2/10 clear of both of the Haas drivers, but that should be on the new set of tires, I would assume.
Yeah, I assume that as well. 50.5 for Matthias. It's not his first lap time either. Maybe he's due to second set of soft compound tyres. We'll see in the allocation as his teammate goes quickest. Silo goes quickest with a 50.2. That is an incredible lap time. That is 3/10 quicker than his teammate Matthias in P2. What a fantastic, stunning lap time there. And Alpine are looking really strong. A few people in the comment section saying Alpine, and they prove it to be so far. So let's see, can Alpine remain on the top? Still 5 minutes left to go to session. Mummy Nick is on a flying lap in the Sauber. Here he is, coming towards the final corner now with the DRS open. Can the Sauber man get himself inside the top 10? Not on this lap, I don't think. And it's only P14 for him, and he's got 5 minutes left to try and do something about it as well. Ivan comes towards the line now. Where can he go? The P13 only for the McLaren driver just ahead of his teammates. So McLaren are not looking strong around here, as Robbie Jacobs in P12 with a 16.4 is on a lap time. He's almost 4 tenths up, has a lockup going in towards turn 13 there. The back of the car started just a bit as we make our way towards the final corner, but DRS is open for the Red Bull driver as he makes his way towards the line. Where can he put himself? He goes into P2, so he splits both Alpines.
Very good lap time indeed, a 15.4. I was going to say, he was a bit low down the order at the first few laps of Q2. He was very quick in Q1, but on his second lap he does get the job done. And a 15.4, that is going to be good enough to get into Q3. So the gap to P10 is already half a second. And it's the two McLarens out there who are really struggling in this qualifying session. P13 and 14 at the moment. Can they get themselves out?
Indeed, those two, I expected themselves to get inside the top 10, but unfortunately they just seem not to have the pace around here in Australia. So with 4 minutes left to go, is there any way that both McLarens can get themselves to the top 10? Fireblaze as well, our last season's championship contender, currently down in P12. What can Fireblaze do? Fireblaze is a very interesting guy to watch for, because sometimes he can be really, really quick, but sometimes his days don't go his way either. So it looks like Fireblaze in P12 with a 60.4. I presume that is a scrub set of soft compound tyres. And Milan, you know Fireblaze a bit. You know what his pace is like. Do you think he can get himself inside the top 10?
I think he's definitely capable of doing it. But yeah, stringing the lap together is always very difficult. And qualifying might not be his greatest side. But I think he's gonna, he might just be able to do so, but there's quicker drivers out there as well who might knock him down as well, Lucas and the two McLarens. So even if he is going to be able to get himself into the top 10, will he stay there? That's going to be the question. But I'm going to keep an eye out on him. He's going to be the first one to try and improve with 3.5 minutes on the clock right now.
Here he is, Fireblaze, a brand new season, brand new opportunities, and he's looking to try and get himself inside the top 10. I believe he can do it, as the rest of the people. The top 6 then feel like they're safe and don't have to go again. Kick downwards, Kick, our last season's champion, is going to go out there once again, and we'll see what the Williams driver could do. I know he struggles a bit in qualifying, does Kick, but his race pace is certainly better than his qualified pace. Here comes Fireblaze coming towards the line. What can the Dutchman do as we head down towards turn 1, on board for the first time into 5th gear? Use the curves really nicely. Nice flow of the steering wheel as we activate the DRS for the second straight. Heading down towards turn 3, braking on the 100-meter board. Down to the gears we go. Slide off with the entry. Goes a bit wide, but still recollects the car. Going towards turn 4 now. Back on the top once again as we head towards turn 6. A flat tire right-hander as he makes his way now towards turn 7. This Fast King, I think it's a slight lift off, a little bit of a dab on the brake there. He's currently 800 up in the first sector. Is Fireblaze going to keep it up though? His main target though is to try and get himself inside the top 10. So not enough. Try and get himself in the side top 10 as we make our way now towards this DRS zone. Third DRS zone before we head towards the end of the middle sector. 2 tenths up for Fireblaze. It's still not enough for Fireblaze to try and get himself where he needs to be in the danger zone, in the safe zone, sorry. His teammate, however, is on the safe side of the danger zone, 50.8, but he's still at the cusp of being eliminated. Look at that, Fireblaze using a lot of curb there, very close towards the validation as he revs it out of 5th gear into turn 12 before we make our way towards the penultimate corner. Another lock up there, can be quite a difficult corner. If you've got the throttle too early, you will lose with the rear tyres and spin, as we saw in Q1. Here he is, Fireblaze towards the line now. Can he get himself in the safe zone? Only P7 there for the Ferrari driver, and the rest are chasing him on as Kick has invalidated his lap time, unfortunately. Tim goes into P9 and McLaren, so one McLaren is safe, the other one is on an out lap. Finn in the Ferrari, the second Ferrari, is 3 tenths up, so it looks like Finn is on a lap time trying to get himself inside the dangers or in the safe zone before we make our way towards the checkered flag. 1 minute 30 left to go towards the checkered flag, and we're about to find out who will get knocked out in Q3 here. Here he is, Finn Hertz, around the final corner with the DRS wide open. Where can the Ferrari driver put himself as he crosses the line now? It's P2! What a lap time there from Finn. Really pulled it out of the bag in the last sector, did the Ferrari driver, and he's definitely safe so far. AMS Lucas out there, Milan.
2.5 tenths up through the middle sector. Is it going to be good enough to get into the top 10? Across the line, P4 at the end. What a final sector that is. 15.4 was only 2 tenths up after the middle sector, with absolutely incredible final sector into the top 4, and that has pushed down Fireblaze down to P9 and Tim outside of the top 10 again.
Yeah, Tim is outside the top 10, unfortunately. He's not going to go for another flying lap because he doesn't have the fuel to do so. His teammate, however, Ivan is coming towards turn 3 right now, as he uses a bit. I think he's on automatic gears the way I just saw that, because he shifted really weirdly going down towards turn 3. And here we are then towards turn 7. I'm not quite sure if he's on auto gears or not. I can tell if he is or not. But here we are then, down towards turn 7 we go. The back in the car, slightly complaining a bit. I think he is on manual gears. But the way he was downshifted into turn 3 was very odd indeed. Here we are with the DRS wide open for the McLaren driver as we make our way towards the end of the middle sector. What's it going to be for the McLaren driver? A 10th up? But that will be enough, though, to prove at his personal best. It will be. But in terms of getting inside the top 10, it's not close enough. Can he make up the can he make up the time in the last sector as we make our way towards turn 11 there for Ivan? Taking the curve really nice to get back on the throttle without any sorts of problems with traction before we make our way down towards turn 12 as we head down towards the final 2 corners we go. Let's see, can Ivan get himself inside the top 10? Can McLaren get themselves inside the top 10? We're about to find out. Oh, he spins! And he's hit the wall! Oh! Ivan, a bit too eager on the throttle there. Adrian Sutil spun and crashed there back in 2019, or 2009, sorry, no, 2011, sorry, when DRS was first activated. But Ivan unfortunately messed up the lap time, and he will not go for it again. That's time done. AMS kick goes to P6. That's both Williams inside the top 6 there, and that was a very interesting qualifying session indeed inside the top 2. But here we are. One more driver left. It is Mummy Nick in the kick Sauber as we head down towards turn 13 there. Can the Sauber driver get himself inside the top 10? Will he ruin Fireblaze's day as the DRS is enabled? Watch out for him as he crosses the line now. What's it going to be? There's 16.3. He does not improve his position to get inside the top 10.
That's the end then of Q2, and both McLarens in the end are knocked out only by the slimmest of margins. Geitegaas as well, he was not an improvement either on his final lap and invalidated then as well, so he's only down in P12. Surely wouldn't have expected more from him, to be honest, but he is not going to be able to get through. So are the 2 McLarens. Muminick already struggled to get through into Q2. In the end he finished up in P14, and the Mercedes of F1 Shorts, the other one too, miss out on Q3, but look at the top 10 within half a second.
This is going to be a spectacular qualifying here in SDN. I can't wait to see how it ends in Q3, but the Brit is on pole currently so far, ahead of Hertz in P2, Robbie Jacobs in P3 ahead of Lucas, and that is clarifications. I think one person I'm surprised about is Heiken Haas in the Haas there. So unfortunately he has been knocked out, and I'm kind of surprised about him. Does he have the pace to make it back up in the race? We're about to find out. But Q3 now, we all know what this is. It's going to be pole position. Whoever can get the fastest time will start a pole, obviously. The Will Buxton quote there. I'm not going to say that again.
Yeah. Absolutely then. So 12 minutes on the clock. Probably 2 runs for each driver to try and get the job done, and I'm not sure, but I think there might be some drivers out there who have only used 2 sets of tires so far, so they're gonna have to clean set of tires, 2 new set of tires to go for 2 runs and push for that pole position as cars are starting to go out at the beginning of this session.
Here we are then, a mad dash out of the pit lane. Who has saved up a set of soft compound tyres? Have they got 2 sets, or have they got 1? Or are they going to save a set of soft compound tyres later in the Grand Prix, just in case a late safety car comes out? Because we know the probability of a safety car is going to be quite high in Australia, as we've seen many people lose it before in the past. So we're also about to find out then, as we see the drivers make their way to the pit lane. It's the 2 Williams of Lucas and Kick. Fireblaze was in the Williams last season until he got transferred over to the Ferrari team. In fact, it's the wrong way around, so I think about a different person. Fireblaze was not in the Williams last season, he was in the Ferrari. So Fireblaze is still in the Ferrari along with his teammate Hertz, those 2 Finn, and Fireblaze were teammates last season, and they did a great job. I think they were close to winning the Constructors. In fact, Ferrari won the Constructors, but not the Championship. So Hertz and Fireblaze will be looking to try and see if they can try and get the Championship back away from Kick, as Kick did a fantastic job in the Williams last season, managing to soak up all the pressure despite everything being thrown at him against the 2 Ferrari drivers. So who is the first one on the circuit? I believe it's a Williams, and that it could be AMS Lucas, in fact an Alpine. So let's go on board with the Alpine first. It's Matthias in the Alpine. Here he is then in the Alpine as he makes his way towards the flying the finish line as he heads down towards turn 1 then. His teammates behind him, Cyclo, who picked up 2 wins last season, did the LP driver, so watch out for him. He'll be also a force to be reckoned with, and a lot of people will be forced to be reckoned with as well, because this is going to be an interesting championship season with everything reset. New drivers, old drivers returning with great pace and great talent and skills. Here comes Matthias then, coming towards turn 6 now as he uses the curve very nicely, going towards turn 7, 26.1 in the first sector, but we don't know if he's on a brand new set of soft compound tyres or he's on a scrub set. As we continue with the lap down with the DRS Open, this is where we see the DRS trades happening as well on this straight. Expect to see a lot of people following each other the DRS trades. Expect people to be swamped on this DRS as well, because I've seen before in the past that if you first the DRS train, 2 people have gone by because it's so powerful, plus the slipstream on a long straight. As we head down towards turn 11, another place we can overtake as well, just in case you don't get it done down at turn 9. Turn 11 is another spot as well as we make our way towards the final few corners here. The pressure will be ramping up, the nerves will be jangling. Who can soak up the pressure the most? Who can try and control it in the final lap? Here comes Matthias then around the final corner. His back end will slide in before he heads into the final corner as he crosses the line now. A 50.4, and that is very competitive, and that is a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Here comes Cyclo. That's 50.3 for him, and he goes towards the top of the pecking order, Milan.
Very good lap from Saya, was very close to his teammate, but in the end, in the final sector is where he made the difference. He was about a few hundreds up on his teammate, and the Aston Martin of Eric, by the way, splits the 2 Alpines. And Robbie Jacobs only a 15.6, so I would imagine that could be a huge set of tires as Finn gets to the top with a 15.201, 1.5 tenths clear of Silo. Very, very good banker lap there from him. And Kick is about to start his lap, so that's going to be the first laps so far. The 2 Haas drivers still yet to set a lap time. Ryan has just started one.
Oh, the 2 Williams drivers on a lap time, Lucas and Kick. We're about to find out what they can do in the Williams there as we round off turn 4. I'm on board with AMS Kick. I think his teammate is just further up the road. I think he is as well. Yeah, he's further up the road. So I'm on board with Lucas then as he makes his way towards the end of the middle sector. 43.5, so just a bit shy of what Hertz managed to do in the middle sector there as we make our way down. Williams are looking very strong as well. Williams finished P2 in the championship. Lucas and Kick, very good teammates, very strong indeed. Lucas did a fantastic job back in Baku, where he held up a Fireblaze. I remember that last safety car, but Lucas stayed out to sacrifice himself, and he used himself as a protector against Kick. Here he is then. Lucas comes towards the line now. It's going to be a 50.4, and that puts him up into P3, just shy of Cyclo. His teammate Kick is just a third behind as well. Here he is then. The Dutchman makes his way towards turn 13 now, and let's see, can he leap off where he left off back last season with the DRS Open? Can Kick put himself a pole? We're about to find out now as he crosses the line now. It's a 50.1, and Kick is on pole with a 50.1. What a lap time that was indeed. We're super close towards the 14s here, and Kick shows some tremendous pace indeed, beating the Ferrari driver of Hertz in P2. Williams versus Ferrari, like it was last season. Game on between those 2 teams again.
Incredible lap there by Kick in the end, 15.1, only a few hundreds ahead of Finn Geerts, and Ryan Bannick in the meantime has gone up to P3 as well. So we've got 2 very quick drivers, and Sino, I'm sure he could have some more time up his sleeve. He's very quick in Q1 and Q2. He might have been on a used set of tires then, so he is definitely going to be one to watch out at the end of this session as well, as he has been very quick so far.
He has indeed then, so majority of drivers will return back to the pit lane to put on a brand new set of compound tyres if they got a brand new set. For those people that don't, they might have gone for the used set and put a brand new set later on, because the track will continue to evolve, the track will continue to get grippier, and the drivers will have more confidence as well. So maybe those people who are lower end of the top 10 have put on a brand new set, put on a set of scrub soft compound tyres, and they're waiting for the latter stages to put on a new set of soft compound tyres and go for pole. So all 10 drivers are in the pit lane. It's AMS Kick who's on pole so far with a 50.1, and it's looking very good for Williams pair. 1 of 5 so far, and we'll see then, can Kick remain on pole, or Hertz, Ryan, Cyclo, Lucas, anybody inside the top 10 take away pole? But the Haasman of YS Brand hasn't set a lap time either in P10. Did we see him on the track? I'm not quite sure, but maybe he stayed in the pit lane, waited for the last stages, so we could go for a flying lap on a one set of soft compound tyres and see where he'll end up. Can he end up where his teammate is in P3 with a 15.2? We're about to find out anytime soon as Patat Job has rejoined the session then. Unfortunately, that man retired from the session and couldn't take part anymore, so we'll start down in last place. But what can he do from the back of the field? 5 minutes left to go. It's quiet before the storm, Milan. Who do you think will take pole here in Australia?
It really could be anyone, but I think it's going to be one of these inside the top 4. Kick, Geert, Ryan or Silo. I mean, they're all very quick, but these 4 especially have shown some great pace throughout this qualifying session. And as you just mentioned, Eastbrand has gone out on a lap, but he's invalidated again, and he's done it so many times in this qualifying session. He's been really struggling so far to get even a lap time on the board. And yet again in Q3, he is left without a lap time. With only 4 minutes remaining, he's going to try and get himself as high up the order as he can. But look how close it is. It's incredible, to be honest.
It is indeed. A Kick who finished P2 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which was enough to secure him the championship last season. What a fantastic job Kick did as well. Very consistent results, because when I look at the results, I know that Fireplace had a lot of wins, but at the same time, consistency wasn't on his side either when he had problems with other people or just struggling to the track, whatever, with penalties as well. But Kick has always been there. He's always been a force to be reckoned with as the Williams driver. Been very consistent. Yes, he had a few mistakes early in the season and also had made a few mistakes later on. But he's managed to get himself back into the fight every time, no matter what happens. Even when a safety car does come his way, like he did back in Baku. The last race, it was at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix where Finn took the victory ahead of Kick with Cyclone P3, Raven P4, Ryan P5, Lucas 6th ahead of Ryan, Lucas 6th ahead of Fire, and Tim in P8, Ivan P9 and Nick is the only English person here, and of course I'm also English, so I'm an English commentator, so Cycle will be happy that a fellow Englishman is here. But we love the Dutchies. English and Dutch have a good relationship, and I know I speak to a lot of Dutch people. I used to be the Dutch esports team as well, believe it or not. So yeah, that was very surprising indeed. Hence why I know a bit of Dutch. But yeah, luckily alongside me is a Dutch commentator, which is Milan. And by the way, guys, if you didn't know, it's mine and Milan's first time commentating together, and I think we've done a good job so far, Milan.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good chemistry so far. Let's keep that up throughout the rest of this night, qualifying and the race. And Isbrand is the first one to go out, and he needs a lap time. And I will make quick use of the toilet right now. So I'll leave the mic to you.
So, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go on the clock. This could be Isbrand's final potential to try and get himself third up the pecking order. But where will it be is the question as we head down towards turn 1. Now look at that, carried a lot of speed to turn 1 as well. Oh, Isbrand, like Milan said, has invalidated. That's that pesky turn 2. Turn 2 catches a lot of people out. You want to use a lot of track there as you can get away with, but unfortunately he used a bit too much. Turn 2 catches me out as well, and it's such a frustrating feeling. But the problem is though, or the solution is that he came out early and he's got enough fuel left in the car, plus he didn't use too much tyre life either, so he can go for a second flying lap on the same set of soft compound tyres without them being too worn up. So we've got more people out there on the flying lap ready for go for pole position as we're about to find out who will take it. And I believe it is that Finn Hertz is on a lap time, and here he is then into Ferrari, currently a 10.5 up. Look at that, blistering first sector there from Finn already, but unfortunately he has invalidated again. Oh, Finn, a mighty first sector, but ruined immediately with an invalidation on the exit of turn 7 there. He'll be kicking himself with that one. And also the benefit for him is that he's got plenty of time left, plenty of fuel, so save battery and go for it again. But he's not even saving battery, he's kept it in hot lap, so I wonder what the tactic there is from Finn. So let's go on board with somebody else then. Cyclo also has invalidated. AMS Lucas out there in the Williams, slowing down, not on a lap time. Kick, however, is coming towards turn 9 and turn 10. So it looks like these guys are going for a second lap time. So I'm not quite sure if that's purposeful or not. But Matthias in the Alpine goes quickest with a 15.1, and that is 8 thousandths quicker, just 8 thousandths there. It's an Alpine on pole, and we'll see where his team will go. Cyclone P5 is a very handy driver indeed, but unfortunately he did invalidate that lap time. And YS Brand again invalidates for the second time in a row. And that's his qualifying done and dusted because he hasn't got enough time to go for a lap time either, as he's crashed the wall where Alex Albon crashed in the practice session. Robbie Jacobs in P8 invalidates his lap time again, and I don't believe he has got enough lap time either to try and go for another flying lap. Amos Lucas in the Williams is going for a lap time as he rounds off turn 5 then, as we're about to see what he could do in the first sector. 200 up in the first sector is Lucas. Can he keep it nice and tidy? As we exit turn 7 then, he can be very pesky indeed with the invalidation on the outside. It's all about maximising all the track without getting the validation, using all the runoff area as you can, using all the curbs without going off with all four wheels off the track. Easier said than done, of course. DRS enabled. Lucas is a 10th up in that middle sector. That could put him to P4, P5. Depends if Lucas can find more time in the last sector as he collapses the curb there through turn 11. Really used all the curb as the car bottomed out, but still kept on the road. All four wheels pointing in the right direction. Here he is, Lucas, going wide out of turn 13. Before we make our way towards the final corner, the DRS will be enabled. Where can the Williams driver? Finn goes quickest. It's a 15.0. Lucas goes up into P4, slots in behind his teammate Kick. Kick is behind us. There he is. Where can the Williams driver go? Has he crossed the line now? He stays in P3, did lose time in the last sector. Cyclo, look at that, 10th up in the middle sector, so keep an eye on the Alpine driver. Kenny Cook, as he makes his way now towards the final corner. The DRS enabled for the Alpine as he makes his way towards the checkered flag now. It's going to be a 15.3 as he stays in 7th place there. So, it's Finn Hertz in P1 on pole ahead of Matthias in P2. Both Williams is 3rd and 4th ahead of Ryan in P5. Eric in P6 ahead of Cyclo. Robbie Jacobs in P8 ahead of Fireblaze. And last place is Weisbrand in P10. Milan, you back? Milan is not back yet, but there is your pole time then. It's a 15.0. And that separates it by only a few hundreds, well, a few tenths in it between the guys. It's so close between every single one of these drivers. I cannot wait for the race. But Finn shows some mighty pace once again, and it's the leader Ferrari.
Alright, there we are.
Did you check if the formation lap is on? Because I want to go to the toilet, but I don't want to go just in case the formation lap is on.
I did not check, unfortunately. You're gonna have to wait a bit. And how much did you drink? You already went to the toilet earlier on. Mate,
I've been to the toilet quite a few times in this qualifying session, and I'm losing my voice too. My voice is gone, so I need a soother to try and get it back because I can barely talk without my voice going. It feels like I'm about to lose my voice anytime soon.
Lap, it is off, so
oh dear.
Unfortunately for you.
Oh well.
I have to hope for a safety car.
So Milan, it was Finn Hertz who took pole in the Ferrari ahead of the Haasers and the two Williams drivers. It was a very close qualifying session indeed, and what a fantastic lap time that was with Finn Hertz. Can he repeat it in the race? And we'll see, can Ferrari or the Williams or the Haasers get the advantage first? Once again, though, for the second time this season, it's Ferrari versus Williams, but the Haasers are involved as well. So about to see some spicy action here in a brand new season, in Season 5, Round 1 of the Australian Grand Prix, and I cannot wait to see how things start.
Me neither then. So Finn Geerts on pole position is always very quick in qualifying, but to be honest, qualifying doesn't really matter that much around here, especially with the 4 DRS zones. Here we go then.
4, 5 lights. We are underway for a brand new season here in Australia. As the lights go out, it's Finn who stays in the lead. Kick is up into P2. They're all ghosted as we head down towards turn 1. Matthias takes second place away. And for some reason, all of them are ghosted, but they're now solid once again as we head down towards turn 4. So Finn Hertz leads the Grand Prix ahead of Matthias. As here comes the Alpine up the inside, but makes side contact. There was Cyclo and Lucas getting so close together in the Williams and the Alpine. As we make our way towards turn 6 now, look at the Alpine getting so much speed there. The Red Bull getting bogged down. Fireblaze is putting him under massive pressure. Apparently, Milan, we're only on lap 2.
I'm not sure how that happened. Someone's going off there. That is Eric. He's gone off into the gravel. Iceman had his moment as well, but this must be some sort of glitch here. I saw DRS enabled when the lights went out. I'm not sure what's going on in this session, but it seems to be a bit glitched. But they're continuing on, so, well, we're going to have to as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, this game still has bugs and issues, but it looks like a clean start so far from Finn Hertz, who maintains the lead. The head of AMS Matthias and Kiki P3, who is Ryan in P4. A few more people, there's a spinner, and that's an Alpine. That's Cyclo. A very contending championship driver indeed has gone for a spin down at turn 11. Did he make contact, or did he lose it by himself as he's trying to go down the inside now onto the Red Bull driver? Push him out wide slightly, gets the place, puts himself up into P12 ahead of the Red Bull, who's under massive pressure from the Aston Martin. They go side by side on the final corner now as we head onto lap 2. DRS will be enabled, and the timing screens have glitched a bit.
Yeah, Vitteger is apparently leading by 1 minute and 19 seconds over Matisse as we speak. Not sure what's going on here. As Ryan up into P3 has got past the Williams now and back into the podium positions where we started.
A great start there from Ryan, gained 2 places from P5 to P3, and now can start putting his sights ahead of Matthias in P2 and also Kurt in P1 there. So very good start indeed from the Ferrari, from the Haasman. Can he keep it up? By the way, guys, I'm really sorry as well. I am ill. I'm losing my voice, so just bear with me for the first race this season. I will be at my best. Plus, I haven't commentated for a long time either. Look at McLaren getting shoved against the wall there. You see that?
That was a massive risk taken there by Tim. Not sure why he would go for that on lap 2. It's still lap 2, by the way, so somebody has fixed it. But he's now going up the inside of the Red Bull, giving not much room, but just enough for the Red Bull to stay on track. And in the end, he does get the position, and he's up into P7.
That's a very nice move there from Tin. It could have ended in tears against the wall at turn 9, but gets himself ahead of the Red Bull driver now. Fireplace, a great start from him, from P9 to P6, and he's behind both Williams drivers. Here comes the Haas. That's YS Brand on the mini compound tyres going through into turn 1, and he gets himself into first place just before the corner there. That's a very nice move indeed. Very crucial move not to get stuck behind the hard runner in the early phases. But look at that. The top 3 are so close together indeed. And the Alpine has almost lost it. Here comes Ryan up the inside. Oh, there's contact! And they're both in the wall together! Oh my goodness me! That's massive contact. And they both connected wheels there. And Ryan comes off worse in the wall with a broken end plate. That's massive. Did you see what happened there?
Yeah, but it was just the Alpine turning in. He could very well have avoided that if he just lifted a little bit, but he kept his foot in to the rear right of the Haas, and now they're both into the wall with both of their race ruined. Front wing damage to the Alpine, and Ryan is all the way down to P15.
Massive shame for Ryan there. He capitalised on a mistake, but unfortunately got himself in an incident which put him down to P16, 17 now, as we see that Tim, Fireblades, Matthias all scrapping away. Fireblades from 9th is up into 4th, and as you can see, here comes the Haas because the Alpine driver has sustained damage as they all get close together in turn 13. Matthias is in the pit lane, unfortunately, so both of them having massive problems, and they're both in the pit lane. Look at that, Matthias almost spun as well, looking with the rear brakes. But there's 2 Williams almighty close together. That's Lucas and Kick. Lucas did a good job playing the rear gunner last season with his teammate fighting for the championship and Kick, and now here we are. It all begins now. There's no team orders. Oh, there's contact though between the 2 Williams drivers, and they'll be very careful not to do so as well. We know Alex Albon and Franco Colapinto, it's back in Singapore when those 2 got a bit heated, but in all honesty, Colapinto made a fantastic move up the inside, nothing wrong with that, but Alex Albon didn't like it, of course. Cyclo is right behind Robbie then, as we see that the Alpine driver gets so close to the back of the Red Bull driver. They all have DRS as well. Here comes Lucas on his teammate Kick. They both swap places there, and he puts himself into P2. It says Ryan his fault, so yeah, he puts the blame on Ryan there, but I'll leave that down to the stewards if he does get reports or not. Here we are sweeping through turn 9 and turn 10 with YS Brand under the back of the Ferrari driver. He puts himself into P5, so great start there from the Haas man, who puts himself now into 5th place. Start to P10.
Big send from Erik up the inside, and he's now hooked to Geitenkaas. They're both off, and the Mercedes goes through, takes both of them, and into the gravel we go with Erik and Geitenkaas, both of them going off here in the final sector. What is going on here?
And the Aston Martin Eric goes off the track now into the grass, and he rejoins further down the field then. So those 2 making contact in the gravel, they go together. But the Ferrari of Finn Hertz is under massive pressure from both Williams behind. Both Williams are looking very racy indeed. Lucas and Kick still puts the pressure on the Ferrari there. The Ferrari is vulnerable. The gap between P3 and P4 is 2.5 seconds. There's a yellow flag in the background. That's tight.
Eric has spun. He's gone off a few corners ago, and now he's spun again into turn 2, and his race is going down the drain. P17 it is, not the start you would have hoped for Aston Martin.
Here we are with the top three, so we're about to take the lead away from Kurtz, and he's been demoted down as a P2. Will it be P3 because the DRS is able for kick? Here he comes then, around the outside, and he takes away P2. So the Ferrari driver has lost 2 places there as YS Brand is up to P4, followed by the second DRS train, followed by 5 people behind him, with Robbie Jacobs in P8 just following there. Here comes the Ferrari 5 place. He needs to get these moves done to try and get himself, but his teammate around the outside, that's a lovely move. Almost lost traction there, the exit of turn 12, but kept it on the road, and he puts himself ahead on the McLaren driver. Here comes the Alpine now, as he goes up the inside, completely mugs the McLaren driver. AMS Tim has been shuffled down into P7, and here comes the Red Bull driver, so it looks like Tim is really struggling for momentum as he gets swapped left, right and centre. The Aston Martin is off at turn 12. Here comes the Red Bull up the inside of turn 1. Does he take the place away? He does. He puts himself up into P7. Does Robbie Jacobs in P7 there, but can Fireblaze overtake YMS Brands and put himself against his teammate?
I must say though, very, very aggressive driving from some of these drivers, and just on lap 6 of this race, there's a whole race ahead of them, and I'm seeing some very ambitious moves in this race. I'm sure the action is very nice, but we see a couple of cars going off, and Eric is now our second retirement of this race, as he is retired in pit lane on lap 6.
Fireblaze is on the hard compound tyres, by the way, so let's mention that. He'll go to the medium compound tyres later, the faster tyres. He puts himself into P4. Now, can he get himself inside the top 3? Has he got the pace to do so? Can he help his teammate out against 2 Williams drivers who work together in harmony, try and keep the third Ferrari behind? Third place man behind. Can Fireblaze catch up? In the background, there he is, followed by the Haasman, the Cyclo, and YS Brand, and Robbie Jacobs in P7 as well. Team is just further backwards, but here we are. Through turn 13 we go. Finn Hertz, who's got a lot on his hands tonight, as he finds himself a Williams driver in front of us. Here he is then, an unusual move. Here we are. As we head down towards turn 1, Kick actually closes DRS as Finn puts himself into P2, split both Williams up once again.
Finn then up into P2 is now in between the 2 Williams, probably the most ideal situation you want to be in. If you're behind both of them, they can work together to try and keep you behind, but now he's in between and he's going to try and get past Lucas and try and retake the lead of this race on the next 2 DRS zones. I'm sure he's going to be able to find a way past, as DRS is very, very powerful around this track. So he lines up right behind the Williams. He's going to deploy the DRS, use a bit of ERS as well. Is he going to pull out or is he going to stay behind? He is going to stay behind for now. So choosing to stay behind the Williams.
Well, Fireblaze has been shuffled into P6. That's the power of the DRS, because Cyclo and YS Brand both had DRS and get the detection point once again. Remember, there's only 1 detection point for 2 DRS zone. As we head down towards turn 11 we go, no moves being made. But Space Cake for Real says, thoughts on the race so far? It's alright, I enjoy it. It's the first race of the season, of course. We had a bit of messy, but people have been... they got a bit of ring rust, let's just say. Not racing for a long time. We had a bit of Christmas. We had Christmas and New Year as well. So when people get back into the swing of things, back in momentum, hopefully we'll see some better racing. Here comes the Ferrari on the race leader as he puts himself back into first place. That's the second time he's done that on the Williams so far. Seems to be his favourite overtaking spot before turn 1. That's a very unusual place to overtake indeed. It's turn 1. We don't really see that as we head down towards turn 2. YS Brand under massive pressure from Cyclo behind, but Cyclo just stays behind. But yeah, it's an interesting race so far because you've got Hertz versus both Williams, and there's no team orders at Williams because it's the first race of the season. So I wonder how these two are going to play out. How is Finn Hertz going to play out too? We're about to find out later on. YS Brand, can he catch up? Because he's got a massive train behind him as he's trying to get inside the DRS reach, the top 3, but they can't do it so far as they've been detached behind. Here comes the Alpine, the Cyclo, as he puts himself into P4. Nice recovery as Lucas takes the lead of the race once again as he puts himself back into first place. Now Fireblaze puts himself back into P5. That's the swap we will always see every single lap. Always swapping DRS. Matthias is murdered as Kick has put himself into P2 ahead of Hertz.
Yeah, it's going to be constant switching with the DRS around here. It's going to be until the final lap. At the moment, it's a 3-horse fight as yellow flags are out. Is that Ausbrander's gone round? Isbrander's out. Into the wall and damage to the front wing. That's the second Haas to go off in this race. It's not been the race they would have hoped for, as they're both well outside the top 10 as he spins around into the penultimate corner as well.
Do you know what? We've seen a lot of moves in unusual places. Fireblaze puts himself into P4 now ahead of Cyclo, and the gap's going down, you know, but the gap is 1.6. It was 2.2 earlier on, so Fireblaze, maybe the pace is starting to come back to him. And a safety car!
He crashed into the pit lane. He crashed into the pit lane. Isbrand, oh my god, into the pit wall, and the safety car's been deployed. He went so slowly going into the pit lane, but somehow still managed to hit the wall, and a safety car has been deployed.
Godverdomme, Jomma. The safety car has been deployed, and guess what? This remains Fireblaze, Gijk and Haas, and the guys on the hardcore power tire strategy. They're going to be absolutely furious that the safety cars came out, because the people in mid-core power tires can revert to the hardcore power tires and take them towards the end. But the people on the hardcore power tires, they're in a bit of a predicament right now, because those mediums can go towards the end, but they'll be dropping off the cliff. So it's going to be a really tricky situation right now for Fireblaze. He's going to be absolutely mad that the safety cars came out.
Yeah, you could either go to the mediums right now or you could stay out, but the chances of another safety car happening are very well there. So surely it's not all lost for them, but this is putting them on the back foot in this race, and I'm quite curious to see if they are going to go into the pit in, or is he going to stay out. Fireblaze, his teammate's going to go in, and he is going to go in as well.
Yep, it's a double Williams stack, so I see that Hertz will jump on one of the Williams driver. By the way, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all your support here, and I've had your support since I joined the league last season, so I really do appreciate it. I know I'm English, and nearly all of you are Dutch, but yeah, at least I've got a Dutchman alongside me.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Speak a bit of Dutch for them while the safety car's out.
Ja, safety car is uitgebracht nadat Isbrand vol in de muur gaat. Het is toch wel een chaotische race tot nu ver, zou ik wel moeten zeggen, maar het gaat voorlopig nog wel aardig goed. En Lucas leidt voor Finn Geerts en Silo in P3. Daar is je stukje Nederlands. Let's go back to English right now.
Dankjewel, lekker. So back to English right now. So Amos Lucas on the hardcore power tyres. So we did see the double stack for both Williams there, and Kick has lost the place for Cyclo. And this is interesting now, because now the safety cars push things up. We did see a split in the DRS train. Fireblaze was actually catching. Can you say some typical Dutch words for the top of Alpine? I'll leave that down to you, Milan.
Typical Dutch words? Well, what do you mean with typical Dutch words? The team principal of Alpine, well, he's got one driver up in the podium positions actually, due to the double stack of the cars in front, and one out in P10. So doe Ocon en Gasly niet na, kan ik je vertellen. Do not recreate Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly around here. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah, oh yeah, that crash back in 2023 when that red flag came out. But no, it was Kevin Magnussen who lost his right rear tyre after he collided the wall at the exit of turn 2. Then a red flag came out, and Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon crashed at the exit of turn 2. Nick de Vries, Logan Sargent, Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso were also involved as well. And yeah, what a race that was as well. All kicked off the last few laps. And I believe Nico Hulkenberg was in P4 at the time, but got shuffled into P7 because of the change of red flags.
Secretly hoping he was going to get onto that podium, but it was not meant to be, unfortunately, his first podium.
I like Hulkenberg so much. He's one of the people I support a lot since he joined F1. But how, as a driver, do you have a mindset to keep going? Because knowing you've been in the sport since 2010, knowing you had no wins or podiums, how do you go into every single race knowing that you haven't had a podium or had a podium or win yet? How do you have that mindset? Just keep going all the time.
It must be very difficult. He's had a few opportunities to get that podium, but either he has lost out due to bad luck or he has crashed out himself. I really hope that with the Audi team coming up, he can finally get that podium. He very well deserves, in my opinion. I really hope he gets that, but because I really like the guy as well. He is German. He speaks a bit of Dutch, so obviously a big fan as well.
I remember back in, I think it was Singapore 2017, when Hulkenberg had a chance for a podium, but his engine blew up, beating Renault. 2012 Brazil,
that one.
The highlights are there, and every time I watch the highlights, I know what's going to happen, but I get nerves still from watching that race. With Hulkenberg in the lead, because that was pure pace. It wasn't look. It wasn't look. It was pure pace and skill that Hulkenberg had in the Force India. Overtaking Jenson Button, Lewis Hamilton, leading majority of the Grand Prix. Then unfortunately, the top of Ferradura, but he spun, touched the white line, and made contact with Lewis Hamilton down at turn 1, ending Lewis Hamilton's final race for McLaren right there and then.
Yeah.
And Hulkenberg's had a lot of bad luck. Remember the German Grand Prix back in 2019?
2019 as well, yeah. So painful to watch him crash out of. He could have very well been on the podium. I mean, Daniel Kvyat was on the podium that race. Vettel was on the podium, who started P20. That was probably one of his biggest chances of getting a podium. Anyway, let's return back to this race because the safety car is going in at the end of this lap.
Oh, I thought I saw an Alpine hit the wall, but it is lag. So luckily, no foaming damage there for Cyclo. But Lucas then will lead them away as the safety car comes in towards in this lap. Because presuming this race, we've got a few change of strategies here. And unfortunately, the people who are on the mini compound tyres will suffer towards the end. Watch out for those people on the mini compound tyres. They'll be quick towards the stage, but later on, the hard compound tyre runners will have the pendulum spun back towards their way as we make our way now towards the final corner. Lucas will determine when to go. He is the effective safety car leader, and he can pull the trigger when he wants to, as we're about to find out when he will go halfway down the straight. Look at these guys getting punched up. Oh my goodness
Mugello
me!
Almost recreated here.
Mugello 2020 when that crash happened. Here we go, then the race resumes as Lucas takes him away as we head down towards turn 1, followed by Hertz in P2, Cyclo in 3rd place, and a kick in 4th, Robbie Jacobs in P5, jumps Fireblades in the pit lane in P6, and here we are, then down the inside goes an RB, that's Kaiken Haas, who's up the inside. Here comes the Alpine, Matthias versus Schultz, gets ahead, Kaiken Haas around the outside, very good move there from Kaiken Haas as he puts himself into P7, but the McLaren is coming back as we head down towards turn 7 we go. Kaiken Haas has a car lit ahead as he stays in P7. Oh, there's a big crash!
Tim into the wall.
That's Tim who has crashed in the wall, and a safety car! A safety car has been deployed again. What does this mean? Can Fireblaze, Robbie Jacobs and Kaiken Haas? But do you think... Oh, I don't know. They don't have another set of Haas in the disposal, do they? They don't have another set of Haas, do they?
If they chose to go for the harder tire set for the weekend, but they could go into of mediums, but that would put them right at the back of the field again. So yeah, it's a bit of a predicament right now. The safety car just came out a little bit too early for them right now to have them an advantage in this race.
We have seen a lot of people crash at the exit of turn 7, and Alex Albon was one of them. I think he did it twice actually, 2023, and I think he did it in 2024 as well. Yeah, he did. He did it in 2023 because that Williams car was a rocket on the straight. Set in purple sectors in the middle sector, being one corner and a long straight. Then he crashed in the race on the inside. Then 2024 he crashed again, and he had to use Logan Sarge's car.
Oh yeah, poor Logan. The only one going to the pit lane is Tim, and he's out, so nobody else into the pit lane, and that's already 4 retirements by the way. But Robbie Jacobs, Fireblaze and Geitenkaas staying out on these mediums.
Indeed, this might help them extend their life on the medium compound tyres. And Tim has stopped at the pit lane. He's literally stationary in the pit lane as the car has stopped, and he will retire and go back in the garage as he's out of the race, unfortunately, for AMS Tin. AMS Eric has left as well. He's retired. He retired ages ago. He's gone now.
Triple AMS retirement so far, and it's not looking very good for the AMS squad here.
A triple kill. All 3 of them are out, and we'll see any more join them.
I'm hoping Lucas doesn't get the same fate. He's leading this race, so let's not hope I just jinxed him. I usually do in commentary, but hopefully not this time. He's doing a good job so far.
Tice has left the session, so hopefully he can get back in. I don't know if he rage quit or not, but I really hope he gets back in because I know a safety car produces opportunities, and it brings you really back into play as well. So we'll see then if Tice joins back the session, but AMS Lucas so far will lead this Grand Prix ahead of Finn Hertz. But this is helping the medium compound tyres just a bit, medium compound tyre runners, to extend their life on the mediums and see how far they can take up. They should be able to go towards the end, but they'll drop off a cliff dramatically. Thank you so much, Space Cake, for real. he just saw my friends list. Look at this. Yeah. Loads of people. That's what happens when you're a commentator and a host. You have a lot of people.
Very much relate.
So Tice has joined the session, thankfully, and he can resume racing once again.
Right, so not even on to the halfway point of this race. We've already seen so much action in this race, so much chaos. 2 safety cars in when we're on lap 13. But as a bit of swapping behind here, let's try and keep in the same order we used to be. Anyway.
Yes, you can be my friend, mate. Of course you can be my friend. But yeah, we are almost halfway through now in this race. It's been interesting so far. 2 safety cars in the space of 2 laps, as McLaren of Tim was the one that's caused that. He crashed out of turn 7. We're past Maldonado back in 2012 when he chased down Fernando Alonso for 5th place as he crashed there. Then George Russell did the same thing, chasing down Fernando Alonso again, and he crashed at the exit of turn 7, and he was screaming red flag, red flag, red flag.
Probably because Lance Stroll was coming.
Yeah.
Don't want to be chasing Fernando Alonso around here. That's a fact. And to be honest, Lucas is chasing an Aston Martin right now, so let's be careful around here.
And also, Fernando Alonso got a 20-second time penalty because big boy Johnny Herbert was the one that gave him a 20-second time penalty. As something happened. For those that don't know, something happened in 2016 between Johnny Herbert and Fernando Alonso. Basically, that when Fernando Alonso crashed in 2016 in Australia, I think Johnny Herbert said something about he doesn't have the racecraft mentality, and that's caused a lot of things. Tyres has crashed! He's actually crashed behind somebody!
He's not crashed. He is just retired from the session for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on here, but he's just retired on track. What is going on here? As the safety car is going back in, that's another retirement.
Yeah, so Tyres unfortunately is out of the Grand Prix, so one remaining Sauber still here. AMS Lucas for the second time will lead them away ahead of Finn Hertz. We're almost halfway there as the safety car once again will peel off into the pit lane. And interestingly, despite having 2 safety cars, Matthias is out there on the old hardcore power tyres. You haven't mentioned that just yet, but Matthias, the one that spun earlier on the Grand Prix, is still on the hardcore power tyres, and Ryan down there in P15. So those 2 have a pitted for a brand new set. Tice is in T1 because of, I can't pronounce that, but anyways, here comes Lucas towards the final corner, as we'll see when he'll pull the pin once again. He's got a lot of work to do with Finn Hertz behind him, with Kylo behind him too, Cyclo, sorry, as here he is again. Lucas will lead them away. It's lap 15 out of 29 as we head down towards turn 1. Lucas then continues to lead ahead of Finn Hertz in P2. Cyclo follows in hot pursuit despite what happened to him earlier in the Grand Prix. Great recovery drive from him in P3. Kick is behind him, followed by the medium runners. First one is Robbie Jacobs in P5 ahead of Fireblaze in P6. Heiken Haas in 7th place ahead of Matthias in P8 on the old hardcore powered tyres. Expected to get swallowed up by the pack on those hardcore powered tyres because F1 Short is all at the back of him and he's losing touch towards Heiken Haas as well in P7. Here we are then. Robbie is right behind Kick. Will Kick be overtaken on the straight? We're about to find out now when I go on board with him finally. Here we are then. Here comes the LP driver right behind Hertz for P2, but not able to overtake him so far. But when he get a good run, look at that. Switching lines there. Get us a better exit. No DRS. It's all about slipstream and overtake button as we head side by side. Going down towards turn 11. Cyclo puts himself into P2 and needs moved there. Next target is Lucas.
Good move there from the Alpine to get up into 2nd place. We have survived a lap now without a safety car. A bit of a calmer restart than the last one, but certainly not less battling around there as Robbie Jacobs is also under pressure from Fireblaze. These 3 on the medium surely want to be moving forward. As DRS now is enabled, that is going to be able to, that's going to help them out to try and get those positions. F1 Shorts gets past the Euro Alpine of Matisse into turn 1 and he's now up into P8.
Cyclo continue to put the pressure on the English versus the Dutchman here as we head down towards turn 3. I know who I'm supporting. No, I'm joking. I'm an unbiased commentator. I'm unbiased. No biasness totally around unbiased, here. Yeah. Plus, for you, Milan, there's loads of Dutchies here.
Yeah, I can support anyone. Basically 95% of the field I can support.
But here we are then with the DRS open. Cyclo is in a position to overtake him. Will he do it this lap? Here we are then with the DRS wide open. Where will he go? Left or right? It is the right hand side as Lucas covers the inside line. But he can't do anything about it. He's vulnerable as Cyclo takes the lead of the Grand Prix as he puts himself into 1st place. Nice moves there and also a great recovery drive. And as you can see in the midfield, there's already a split in the midfield because F1 Shorts, the gap is 2 seconds now between himself and Kaiken Haas as we head down towards the 11 there. F1 Shorts puts the pressure on Matthias. Matthias is really holding up. He's really holding up everybody up, and that's what's frustrating these drivers because they're not able to join this battle for the DRS train. Still been split up already, and Matthias is causing everybody a headache just behind him as Cyclo sets the fast up of the Grand Prix. But it's not easy to break out of DRS range, so we still got to keep on his toes here, because keep an eye on Lucas, keep an eye on Hertz and Kick in P4. We'll see what happens then. It's all about where you are on the last 3 laps of the Grand Prix in terms of car placement. If you're second or third, which is the best place to be? Sometimes first, if you can control it on the last lap. It is really difficult to do so, but I've seen scenarios before where somebody is first on the last lap, followed by a train of cars, and they still kept the lead despite having 4 DRS zones. So it's all about tactical here, where you are on the final laps, what position you're going to be in, how you're going to defend, how you're going to manage your ERS as well, and where you're going to attack. And here comes Lucas now, side by side with Cyclo, as he does what he did to him on the last lap.
Lucas then back into the race heat, and as you mentioned before, track position is really key around there, especially through the final few laps. Leading you can put it off, but it is very difficult when you got a huge strain of cars behind.
There is contact on that turn 11, the Red Bull of Rabbi Jacobs trying to go over the inside of Kick, but it couldn't quite make it stick as he stays in P5 for the time being. Then he's desperate to make a move, plus he has a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, so these medium runners are stationary. They can't go anywhere. The longer they stay like this, the worse it gets for them. Fireblaze puts himself into P5, so he's now the highest medium runner as he puts himself now amongst the half runners as we head down towards turn 4 with the DRS open once again, making our way down towards the heavy braking zone. No moves being made so far. There's contact between those two, but luckily those two do not go in a spin or go deep there. But Cyclo lucky to keep his front wing and keep the race going between himself and Lucas there. Cyclo, who won 2 races last season, and he's looking to kickstart things in his own way in the Alpine team there, as we'll see what happens then with the DRS open once again for the Alpine driver. Lucas may get swamped on the straight here because Kurtz will have the DRS, Cyclo will have the DRS, as here we go once again. Here comes Cyclo swapping places with the Williams driver. What's Finn going to do? In P3, he just stays behind for the time being there. Fireblaze is looking to look back at Kick, trying to overtake him. And here we are then with the DRS wide open again. I don't think Lucas has the DRS. He does not have the DRS because there's only 1 detection point for 2 DRS zones. But Kurtz cannot capitalise as he stays behind in P3 so for the time being then.
Just a big strain of cars right now covering the top 7, and it's Robbo who's actually struggling a little bit on these mediums. Already 8 laps on these mediums. I'm not sure how long they will have the advantage over the hards, but every lap, when every lap passes, it's going to get less and less. So he needs to get the moves done as soon as possible. 10 or 11 laps to go. Still, the medium runners in P5, 6 and 7 haven't made any progress at all so far.
When the look at this! Oh, it's a bit of lag. Sorry. So I thought that Lucas was going to smash into the back of Cyclo. So, look at he goes to car, but teleports in front once again. So he teleports further in front. It is crossover. Remember that it's crossplay as well. So you got to be very careful because sometimes that's been out of sync. Cyclo! Cyclo gets a 3-second time penalty, and that's his race ruined already. Look at this. Here comes Kick ahead of the Ferrari driver. I'm surprised Hertz is not being more aggressive. He's going backwards, and once again he finds himself behind both Williams there, stays stationary, and his teammate is right behind him. How are Williams going to play this out? Will Fireblaze get the jump on his teammates, try and chase after 2 Williams drivers? As here we are, down towards turn 11 once again. No moves being made so far, but Hertz, I dare say, should have been a bit more aggressive there, because now he's in a predicament where both Williams, who use DRS off each other, try and stay ahead of each other, try and stitch in their way past each other as well to keep the Ferraris behind. So Hertz should have been a bit more aggressive there, used a bit more ERS, and try and stay ahead at least one of the Williams drivers.
Yeah, now both of the Ferraris are behind both of the Williams, so the Williams drivers will have the advantage. If he stayed in between them, he could have, hold up the other Williams, stay ahead of the others, stay in the train. But now he's going to have to fight both of the Williams drivers who can just work together. But Silo with the 3-second time penalty, that's certainly going to hurt his race. So it's really turned into a fight between Williams and Ferrari. And to be honest, those are the only drivers in the top 7 without a penalty as well.
Sorry about that. What are you seeing?
Yeah, it was a bit of desync as well, once again with Silo. See, he almost went into the gravel, but he's kept it on track. Can be very distracting for the other drivers, to be honest.
It is indeed. I know how it feels. Here comes Fireblaze around the outside of his teammate. He puts himself into P4, made it really easy. But as you can see, look at the EOS difference on the steering wheels there. And here comes Fireblaze. Will he make an overtake? Will he try and split both Williams up? He needs to overtake immediately. Oh, he goes on the grass.
No.
He goes on the grass and he goes off the track. Here comes the Red Bull now alongside him as he puts himself into P5. But the Ferrari standing around the outside gets squeezed off the track there as Fireblaze lost another position there. Goes deep. And unfortunately, his momentum has been ruined. So that was it wasn't a move. It looked like he just got caught out by somebody. I think Fireblaze just got caught out simply. Went to the grass, lost the rear end, and unfortunately for him, has lost a few places too. That's Ferrari on the back foot again.
Yeah, Fireblaze down to P6, probably overestimated the Williams drivers. Didn't think they would break that early and just got off guard and hit the grass. Straight off, down to P6. All his progress has become undone. He was in a fight for the podium, but now he's behind the Red Bull of Robbie Jacobs again. So Ferrari once again on the back foot. And Williams are looking pretty comfortable right now in P2 and P3 to possibly get that 1-2 home with under 8 laps to go in this race.
Williams want to kickstart the season for the former champions, especially for the drivers, because remember, Ferrari won the Constructors' Championship, Fireblaze now up to P5, it was Kick who won the Drivers' Championship, so Williams will look to try and seal the deal by kickstarting their championship campaign in fashion with a 1-2, but it's not over yet because Finn Hertz is right behind as we head down towards turn 11 there.
Oh, F1 shorts into the wall on the exit of turns 9 and 10, he is got without any damage. No safety car deployed, but he went straight off into the wall, loses control. Oh, Ryan and Octavia into the wall. What is going on there? Ryan once again off the Aston Martins off as well. It's all kicking off in the midfield here.
It is indeed. It could get worse, and it has got worse because the Haas has just spun out of turn 11 there. So there's 3 drivers who got caught up in turn number 10 and turn 11 there, but on board with the leaders once again. I think both Williams do a really good job because they're using the DRS to back of each other, try and keep Finn Hertz behind. He's got a lot on his hands, unfortunately, for the Ferrari drivers, try and split them both up and try and overtake them. But I dare say he should have been a bit more aggressive when he had the chance because he had a lot of battery saved up, but he didn't use it, and he allowed one of the Williams to go through him and get past him. But now he's got another chance to try and get through him again. Here we are then with the DRS wide open. I believe that Finn Hertz might fancy a move. He's got to. He can't afford to stay stationary, especially in the latter stages, because both Williams just use each other for DRS and the overtake as well to try and stay ahead of the Ferrari driver. So they know what they're doing, both Williams, staying behind Cyclo, getting the DRS off him and keeping themselves safe against the Ferrari driver. But here we are then. Here comes Finn. Is it inside or outside? Nowhere to go because of Williams defends the inside line as Robbie Jacobs goes up into P5 ahead of Fireblaze and those being compound tyres now don't look too good on those cars. The 3 of them looks like they're struggling so far. Can Matthias, you know what, let's talk about Matthias. We haven't spoken about him much. In P8 on an old set of hard compound tyres, doing a really good job. Van did get past him a few laps ago, but Matthias re-overtook him, and he's now up to P8, and they're doing a really good job so far on the hard compound tyres. Kept himself out of trouble, of course, watch the chaos unfold right in front of him and behind him as well. Van has just got past him, he puts himself up into P8 now, but he's got a penalty as well, so Matthias just needs to stay behind him, and then he'll capitalise with that penalty. But here we are, once again, the top 4, as well. F1 Shorts has retired in the pit lane, so we're down to 14 in this race, and with 6 laps left to go. I really hope we don't lose anybody. But that Job has finally left the session. He's been here the whole time, ever since he retired all those laps ago. But here we go with the DRS wide open again. Both Williams know they don't have to overtake Cyclo just yet, but keep an eye on the Ferrari. That's what they're doing so far. All they got to do is keep an eye on the Ferrari behind to see when he anticipates making a move. Fireblaze and Heiken Haas get ahead of Robbie Jacobs for P6 and P5 there, as Matthias gets back ahead of Ivan. He puts himself into P8, but those being compound tyre runners, that safety car really did hurt him.
Oh, Lucas trying to go the long way around the outside of Sado, but the Alpine defends successfully, but there was a move for the Williams to try and get past. I'm sure he can finish behind the Alpine, but if you really want that security of the win, you will have to overtake him on track. You never know if anyone can get their penalty removed, so I'm sure he is going to try and get past at some point, probably on the final lap, as you would expect around here with all those DRS zones. But he's now back behind the Alpine within the DRS range. He's got his teammate behind him to cover him off. And Finn Geerts still in P4. It's not a position you want to be in if you want to win this race.
Indeed, he had the chance when he split both of them up, but he's not really being that aggressive. He's being quite nonchalant in terms of his overtaking. He's not really getting up there. He's not really putting the pressure on. He's just staying there in P4. So he's been a bit passive. In the background, I just saw Ferrari on Fireplace getting all wobbly out of turn number 7 there. And he's got Kijk and Haas all over the back of him. And is this a move from Lucas? No, it's not. He closes the DRS. He just knows he doesn't have to overtake Cyclo just yet. Kijk and Haas has overtaken Fireplace, puts himself into P5. Now those guys will continue to drop away because on old medium compound tyres, and Kijk and Haas has the DRS. Fireplace is under massive pressure from Robert Jacobs behind. Will Robert Jacobs go for a move? No, he stays behind for the time being. But Fireplace in this trio does not have a 3-second time penalty, so he could try and stay behind him and just try and get that try and go up to P5. That's the most he could do so far.
Oh man, Ryan was trying to overtake the Red Bull there, went onto the grass, almost lost control and went into the wall again. But it's been a really dramatic race for both Haas and Ryan. Was looking very promising in qualifying, but here he is in P13. He's on 20 lap old hearts. He is not going to score points, is he?
And here comes Rabbi Jacobs. Both of them made a big mistake out of turn 1. It was Fireblaze and it was Kijk and Haas who made a big mistake, had a massive wobble on that turn 2. And Rabbi Jacobs takes advantage. Oh, big slap again from Fireblaze. Those guys are really struggling on the mini compound tyres. They started to hang on the cliff here. But there's 4 laps left to go. When will Finn Hurst decide to pounce? Look at his ERS. He's got a lot of ERS saved up. He's not really pouncing forwards. He's just been so passive so far in P4. When will he decide to overtake? And if he does, can he? Because we know that both Williams will swap places and try and stay ahead of the other one, but gets a really good run out of turn 9 and turn 10.
Chance now.
Here's a big chance then. Here we are then. He's in the middle. He can't go anywhere. He's boxed in. And that's really good car placement there from both Williams. Amazing car placement. Robbie Jacobs up into P5.
Geert's now finally trying to get past with 5 laps to go. He will have to, 4 laps to go actually, but he needs to get the job done. If he's in P4 on the final lap, I can assure you he's not going to win this race. He needs to be in P3 or P2 to even have a chance of winning this race. But at the moment, these Williams drivers are holding on very, very well, placing their car just right to hold off the Ferrari and stay in 2nd and 3rd place.
Fantastic job from both Williams drivers. They're forcing the pressure, and they've done it so far. Matthias picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He gets ahead of Ivan for P8. I presume he picked that up at turn 2. The most common place there, as Matthias then unfortunately has that penalty, but he has got old tyres, 22 lap old tyres he has on his car, doing a really good job so far. Majority of the field picking up a 3-second time penalty. 1, 2, 3, 4 I think 4 people in this race haven't picked up a penalty just yet so far. But Finn Hurts, here he is then, finally going side by side. It could be 3 abreast as we head down towards the level. Look at this, 4 abreast as we go side by side. Finn Hurts versus Kick as we head down towards turn 9 and turn 10. He gets ahead of 1 Williams. Can he dispatch the Alpine as once again going 3 abreast as we head down towards turn 11, and he backs out of it. He stays in P4. That's not the place you want to be. Should have been a bit more aggressive there, but he couldn't make the move. And now Kick is in front ahead of Cyclo, and Lucas is in P3. Finn Hurst tries to force it, but being a bit too I think he was a bit too patient there. I didn't want to make contact either, going 3 abreast to turn 11, as that was a big chance for him. Fireplace been demoted into P7. Must have been a mistake there as we head down to turn 1.
As well. Made a bit of a mistake. Fireblaze down to P7 and probably out of the DRS range, but what a moment that was. But here we go again.
Look at this then, almost 3 abreast there. Lucas just stays behind the Alpine for the time being. He knows he can't afford to make contact, especially in the first race of the season. Crucial points, every single race counts of course, could have a consequence on the later stage of the championship. But that moment in turn 9 and turn 10, what a brilliant moment. They went side by side. It was Finn versus Cyclo going side by side. Then it was Lucas who took advantage of both of them. Here comes Lucas now. It's a Williams 1-2 finally, as he puts himself into second place. But here he is.
Passing either side of Kick, and Lucas retakes the lead ahead of Seidel. What a move.
What a move indeed. And Lucas off the DRS protects himself against Cyclo. But Finn, he needs to be a bit more aggressive. He needs to try and get himself further along the field there. Maybe that's not his type of driver style. Maybe he's a bit more passive and cautious, it must be said. 2
laps to go. Who is going to come out on top? Lucas in the lead. Finn Geert, he is on the back foot. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it done as it stands right now. He needs to get past on this lap. If he's P4 on the final lap, he is not going to do it.
And Milan, who do you think is the best place now to win this Grand Prix? Is it Lucas or is it Kick? Which one of those two do you think that has the best advantage so far?
Well, right now it's Lucas, but if Kick is going to be able to get past on this next straight, he needs to get ahead of the Alpine to get a chance of overtaking his teammate, because if there's a car in between, it's going to be very difficult to pass. Although we did see last lap, we saw going 3 wide, 2 cars passing each other on either side as Ryan has retired from the session. But it's going to be between the 2 Williams. Finn Geerts is just too far back, he's just being too patient.
A bit too patient, and I left it a bit too late as well. He has no chance now, surely, unless he uses all of his ERS on this straight. But here comes Kick, applies the ERS, has a massive overspeed, but the Alpine has the ERS, and here comes Kick. Oh, there's contact! There's big contact! And here we are then! Kick has to back out, otherwise he made contact, and here comes now Finn Geerts side by side with Kick as we head down towards turn 11. That could have been Williams over. Right there and then. That was big contact indeed, but they kept the car pointed in the right direction. How on earth did both Williams keep going? I have no idea. The door almost opened up for Finn Geerts to go through, but both Williams got their car back in control immediately and kept going. Wow, what a moment there. What a moment it could have been.
Yeah, to be honest, what was Silo doing there? The gap was really never there. He just sent it up the inside in the corner where you really don't want to go side by side. It was a bit of an... What? Fireblaze disqualified.
Oh dear, Fireblaze.
That's not now. He started on the hards.
I thought he started the hard compound tires. He did. He started the hards. I remember. He
did. That's a glitch, man. Oh my god, this game.
Godverdomme, jammer.
Godverdomme, indeed.
But anyways, it's the last lap of the Grand Prix Milan, and we're about to see some more action. Here comes Cyclo. He can't do anything about it with the 3-second time penalty. He's just going to go for a track. Here he is side by side now with Lucas. But Lucas will be looking at his rear wing mirror because Kick will be right there as we head out of turn 9 and turn 10. Lucas will not have the DRS. Can Kick get past his own teammate as we head down towards turn 11? No moves being made so far.
Rob into the wall. Side by side with Geitenkaas, and he's out. He's crashed. Front wing gone.
Here comes Matthias, it's up into P5, and that's a very good recovery drive considering what happened to him on old hardcore power tyres. But we go back to the front to see the RP driver of Cyclo, who will finish in first place. But here comes Lucas. Lucas wins the first race of the season. It's a Williams 1-2 with Geerts in P3. What a fantastic drive from both Williams drivers. Good tactics, good car placement. Chose the right time to attack in the right places too, and kept the Ferrari behind all the way through. Fantastic drive, and it's a Williams 1-2, and they're aiming to win the Constructors after missing out in the Constructors last season when Ferrari had it. Fantastic drive so far, and the Ferrari unfortunately of Geerts, who could not find a way through, and Fireblaze, they lost crucial points in the championship as well. Fireblaze will be absolutely furious with that, and there's nothing we could do. We can't elevate him back up into P wherever he was. We can't do that because we don't know where he could have finished. So we literally can't put him back where he's supposed to be. So that is a disqualification, unfortunately, and that will stick with him in the first race of the season. And it's out of his control. It's out of our control, and I feel really sorry for him.
So unlucky there for Fireblaze, but what a race from Williams. Brilliantly managed throughout the entirety of this race. They were aggressive when they needed to be, they stayed put when they needed to be, and in the end they got the job done. Didn't get a penalty, 1-2 on the track, and Lucas, what a drive. He beat his teammate and he took the win home on not on track, but because of Silo's penalty. Actually, Silo got another penalty on the penultimate lap, so I think it's going to be P4, but what a race from Williams. 1-2 on the season opener. The best possible way to start off your season.
What's your opinions on this race, Milan? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, it was entertaining to say the least, but the driving standards might not be up there as you would have hoped for, but it sure was a very, very good watch. And we've seen plenty of action, and let's reset and go ahead into the next race then. Hopefully have a bit of a cleaner race out there.
Ja, dankjewel Milan. Je bent geduldig.
Dankjewel.
Thank you so much. This is our first time commentating ever, and I think we did a really good job. Like, our first time ever commentating with no preparation. We didn't even plan this before. We talked about it, but we never actually practiced or trying to work around each other. So I think we did a really good job so far. And thank you so much for your insights, your entertainment, your action as well. You did a fantastic job, and I love listening to your commentary as well. You did a fantastic. I learned a lot from you today, and I hope you learned a lot from me. But obviously not in the state I'm in right now.
Absolutely, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very fun, and I really hope to do it again very, very soon. It was a pleasure to be here.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Milan. I really enjoyed that race from Q1 all the way to the checkered flag, and it was actually packed as well. Some scary moments down the turn on the turn 10 where both Williams could have ended their race right, and then if Kick didn't have cat-like reactions and back out of it, then both Williams would have been gone by now. And a whole different story there for Finn Hertz. But it's the two Williams who take the crown so far, and we'll see what happens then in the next race. What's your expectations this season, Milan, judging by this?
I think the Williams are very strong, not only on just race pace, but managing throughout the race as well. Because Finn Geerts definitely left something on the table. He could have very well won this race if he just played his card differently. So, in my opinion, Williams might just be the strongest team out here.
Indeed. It was Ferrari who were the strongest team, but it looks like both Williams are coming back. And we'll round off here then at the Australian Grand Prix for the first race of the season. It has been an absolute pleasure, Australia, and we'll see you in Australia in 2 months' time when F1 kicks off as well for the first race of the season. Obviously, Australia returning to the opening season since 2019, when it was Austria 2020. Then after that, it was Bahrain that became the first race this season. But we're back to Australia so far, and hopefully it'll be a good season opener. Sometimes it's a bit boring, but with the new layout, the new modifications to the track, with the extra DRS zones, and plus with the closer racing as well, we hope to see that 2025 will be an absolute banger. And Ferrari tend to be the strongest car on the track as well. It's a really good track for Ferrari, judging by its history, with Sebastian Vettel winning there back in 2017 and 18, Charles Leclerc winning in 2022, Carlos Sainz winning in 2024. So it should be a Ferrari track. But we'll see you all next week at the Miami Grand Prix for the second round of the season, and we'll see what happens there. But for me, Milan, it's goodbye for now. Dankjewel. Ik spreek je later. Tot ziens. Goedenavond.
Is goed, tot ziens. Thank you very much.